Okay, welcome. Dodge is one of the strongest abilities in Dokkan. The capability to have a good chance to take 0 damage is a very powerful ability and is a staple portion of a lot of characters' kits. Today, we'll be going over the top 10 dodge units in Dokkan history. Please note that these lists are carefully calculated through an intense algorithm, and let's get on with the list. Alright, and coming in at number 10, we have the LR Gods. Now, the LR Gods, being an anniversary unit, are a very widely known unit. They lead the Power Beyond Super Saiyan categories and Mover Hero category for 170% and give the full 200% to Kamehameha. They stack attack and defense on both 12 and 18 key super attacks. They have guard for 1 turn, get their 77% attack and defense, and the LR Gohan key mechanic for 7 turns. They also have a start of turn 120% attack and defense with an additional LR Gohan additional key per key spear. They get 7% crit chance per rainbow key spear, launch an additional super attack when key is 20 or more, and they're super effective against all types when key is 24. They then transform on turn 4 into the LR Blues, I guess you can call them. After transforming, they get 50% attack and defense on 12 key, and then a 100% massively raise attack and defense buff, along with disabling an enemy action on 18 key super attack. Their passive Super Saiyan Blue transformation gives them 177% attack and defense start of turn, 2 key per type key sphere obtained, and then they become super effective against all types when key is 16 or more and launch a guaranteed additional super attack at 20 key or more. They also have a 30% chance to crit and dodge built into their kit, and they get 7% dodge and crit chance per rainbow key sphere obtained, which does stack with their passive.
Nice.
So essentially, with 3 rainbow key spheres, the LR Blues here would have a 51% chance to dodge. This, along with their best linking partner, or best partner in general, being Tech God Goku, who Rainbow Orb changes for them, led to them having a 50% chance or more chance to dodge very frequently, which led to them being very dominant with the dodges, and was an important part of their kit, which is good enough to land the LR Gods / LR Blues number 10 on this list. Moving on to number 9. And now coming in at number 9, we have Int UI Goku, the OG Dodge GOAT. Coming out for Saiyan Day of 2018, Int UI Goku had a solid base form where he stacked attack on his super attack, and his passive skill, Secret Sensation, gave him 100% attack and defense start a turn, and he would transform when HP was 50% or below. Upon EZAing, however, he'd stack both attack and defense on his super attack and have 150% attack and defense start a turn, and still awaken when HP was 50% or less. Once transforming, he would stack attack still, pre-EZA, 3 key 150% attack start a turn, and then a 70% chance to dodge, which is extremely powerful. After EZAing, he still stacked attack and defense on his super attack, but got 3 key 200% attack and 100% defense with the 70% chance to dodge, along with a guaranteed dodge 100% chance for 1 turn, his first turn after transforming, which was very powerful. This guy was the OG Dodge God and was the overall origin of a very powerful dodger way back when. Obviously, there were other dodge units that came out before this guy, but this guy was the start point, in my opinion. Or the algorithm's opinion, I should say. But that's number 9, Int UI Goku. Moving on to number 8. Now, coming in at number 8, we have STR Whis. Now, STR Whis, when he came out back with physical beers just after the 5th year anniversary, was very good for a banner unit. He sealed super attack and lowered attack and defense on his super attack effect, had 100% attack and defense start a turn, and a 70% chance to dodge built innately into his kit, and then also got 50% defense per dodge within the same turn. If he had an ally Beerus on the same turn, he then regen 10% HP at the turn and gave all allies 50% attack. He also had a solid link set and was overall a very, very good unit back when he released, being honestly one of the better banner unit releases in this game's history. The powerful dodging and sealing along with debuffing made him very powerful for the hardest content in the game at the time, which was Extreme Super Battle Road. Overall, he was a great release for the game and is good enough for number 8 on this list. Moving on to number 7. Coming in at number 7, we have LR-STR-UI Goku. Now, LR-STR-UI Goku was one of the very powerful releases in this game's history, and he was a global first. LR-STR-UI Goku did not have any notable super attack effects prior to his EZA, but after EZAing, got 30% attack and defense for the turn on 12 key and 50% attack and defense, along with giving all allies 50% attack for the turn on his 18 key. Who really cares about him disabling enemy guard and lowering defense? No one cares. What LR/STR/UI Goku does is, prior to EZA, gets 77% attack and defense start a turn, has a 70% chance to dodge for 7 turns, and then a 50% chance to dodge starting from turn 8 plus. He then gets 1 key up to 7 and 11% attack and defense up to 77 with each dodge. And then post EZA, he gets 4 keys, 70% chance to dodge start of turn, and a 50% chance to dodge turn 8 plus. And then gets an additional 7% dodge chance until this character gets hit per other Reps of Universe 7 category ally attacking in the same turn. So essentially he can get up to 84% chance. He then gets 77% defense after dodging an attack, 77% attack after dodging an attack in slot 1, and then gets the same up to 7 key and 77% attack and defense, along with 77% crit chance now per dodge. Along with having a great link set and a plethora of categories, as long as the enemy can be dodged, LR/STR/UI Goku will probably always be a very good, or at least a reasonable option, I should say. And overall, he's good enough for number 7. Moving on to number 6. And coming in at number 6, it's the one, the only, LR Kale and Caulifla. LR Kale and Cauliflower, hell yeah. Now, everyone knows about their pretty much 9-year run of unparalleled dominance, having a top 3 peak in Dokkan history. We'll mainly focus on their pre-EZA kit, as they don't really do anything new with their EZA besides getting another chance to do an additional super attack. They stack defense on both 12 and 18 key super attacks. They get 66% attack and defense start of turn, 130% post EZA, and do a guaranteed additional attack. They build up key and dodge chance up to 6 key and 66% dodge chance with each attack performed. They then get 10% attack and defense per Universe 6, join forces, or pure Saiyan category ally on a team, and then do a guaranteed additional super attack when there is a Universal Survival Saga or pure Saiyan enemy, which does stack, so they can do up to 2 if there are both enemy present. Having that 66% chance to dodge, which is essentially a great chance to dodge, along with stacking defense, was very powerful for them at the time, and was part of the reason why they were so dominant for so long. And for that, LR Kale and Caulifla finds himself on this list at the number 6 spot. Moving on to number 5. And now we enter the top 5. Coming in at number 5, we have LR Broly, Chila, and Lemo. Now, LR Broly, Chila, and Lemo, after their EZA, get 50% attack and defense on their 12 key, along with lowering attack by 30%, a greatly lower. And then they get 100% or a massive raise of attack and defense for the turn on 18 key. Their passive skill, Fight for Friends, gives them 30% attack and defense per key sphere obtained. They then get 10% attack and defense per physical key sphere obtained, and 2 extra key per key sphere obtained. With AGL or STR key spheres obtained, they get 2 key and 39% attack to all allies, and then they give 2 key and 39% defense with Tech or Int key spheres obtained, and then they give all allies 2 key and 15% attack and defense with Rainbow key spheres obtained. They also give 39% attack to themselves when launching a super attack, do a guaranteed additional super attack, and then, like physical Kid Goku, the Dokkan Fest, they give 10% damage reduction to all movie or super boss category allies when at 24 key. They also have a 50% chance to dodge built into their kit, and then with 7 or more key spheres obtained, get a 100% chance to dodge for the turn. They also create orbs when HP is 60% or lower, and then make a whole field of physical key spheres when HP is 39% or lower. Along with some solid links, the 100% chance to dodge once they unlock, once they get 7 or more key spheres, is a very powerful ability, and is why LR Broly, Chila, and Lemo find themselves on this list. They've always had this ability, even pre-EZA, but just never really had the team or the support to pop off. They're on a very limited amount of categories, but right now, with their EZA, they're a very solid option. And that's LR Broly, Chila, and Lemo. They come in at number 5, moving on to number 4. Now, coming in at number 4, we have 9th year anniversary LR Gogeta Blue, who is very good. In his base Super Saiyan form, he gets 50% attack and defense for the turn on his 12 key, stacks defense and 50% attack for the turn on his 18 key super attack effect. Passive skill gives him 154% attack and defense, plus 2 key, built-in super effective against all types, 100% attack and defense for performing a super attack, guard for 3 turns, extra key with rainbow and type key spheres obtained, creates rainbow key spheres, and with 1 or more rainbow key spheres obtained, does a guaranteed additional super attack, and then also has a 70% chance to super attack on another built-in additional to his kit. He then transforms on turn 4, that is his turn 4, not turn 4 in battle, and then he gets 50% attack and defense on his 12 key super attack effect still, and then 100% massively raises attack for 4 turns on his 18 key. He regens 54% HP for 4 turns from the start or from his first appearance. 3 key, 200% attack and defense start of turn, built-in super effect against all types into his kit. 100% attack and defense when performing a super attack. An additional 2 key, double LR Gohan key mechanic per key sphere obtained. He creates rainbow key spheres. He launches an additional super attack and has another one with a rainbow key sphere obtained. He's got a 70% chance to dodge and gets 20% crit chance per dodge, and then has a 70% chance to nullify key blast super attack effects. But his passive skill is where things truly get ridiculous, which can be activated on his turn 6. He then does the taunt and dodges all enemy attacks for the turn, along with doing a very good amount of damage. The 70% chance to dodge, along with having guaranteed dodge and a taunt on his active skill, is good enough to place Gogeta number 4 on this list, as he's very, very powerful in this anniversary meta with these very powerful abilities that can protect your team and allies, and is honestly probably just the best active skill in the entire game. That's Gogeta. He comes in at number 4, moving on to number 3. Now, coming in at number 3, we have the brand new Tech LR UI Goku. Now, Tech LR UI Goku leads the Universal Survival Saga Entrusted Will in Realm of Gods category with 3 key, 170% attack and defense, and then gives the 200% buff to those also in the Reps of Universe 7, Accelerated Battle, or Power of Revival categories / Powerful Comeback. His 12 key super attack gives him 50% defense for the turn and 30% attack for the turn, and he also raises all allies attack by 30% for the turn. His 18 key super attack gives him 30% defense, 50% attack for the turn. He also gives all allies 30% defense for the turn, and then he's got a essay of a passive. Essentially, as long as he has a Universal Survival Saga category ally on the team, which is fodder easy because LRAGL UI Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta exist, he gets 4 keys, 77% attack and defense for 7 turns, and an extra 77% for 4 turns. He gets 7 key, 200% attack and defense start of turn, has a 70% chance to dodge and 77% chance to crit built into his kit. He reduces damage received by 50% and then gets an extra 35% damage reduction until he gets hit. And after he gets hit, he's got guard for the rest of the turn. He performs an additional super attack after dodging and does a guaranteed additional attack that has a 70% chance to become a super attack as the second or third attacker in turn. On turn 5, he can transform and pop his domain. His domain gives all superclass allies and enemies 15% attack and defense. He also cancels all dodge canceling effects and gives 15% attack for Realm of God category allies, and gives all superclass allies 4 key for 3 turns. Once he transforms, he essentially becomes God and gets 50% attack and defense on both 12 and 18 key super attacks, and then gives 59% attack and defense to all allies for the turn on his 18 key super attack effect. His passive skill, Silver Gleaming Ultra Instinct, gives 300% attack and defense start of turn, 7 key, 59% attack, and guaranteed dodge for the first turn, along with giving all allies an extra 10% chance to dodge. He can build up to 12 key, 77% dodge chance, and 77% crit chance with each attack performed. He counters every single attack he dodges. He has a built-in 20% damage reduction to his kit, and then gets an extra 40% damage reduction until he gets hit. He also guards after receiving a hit. He also gets 91% attack and an extra 20% crit chance if HP is 50% or less at start of turn. And then he has a built-in additional super attack when key is 24, which is free because he's always at 24. He essentially becomes God, and he is very, very good once he transforms. Like, actually brokenly, disgustingly good. Like, it's actually ridiculous. He's far and away the best unit in the game once he transforms. It might be premature to put a unit who came out only a couple weeks ago on this list, but I think it is deserved, and I think he will age very well because he has dodge, and dodge is such a big portion of this character's kit. He cancels the canceling of dodge, which is just ridiculous, and is good enough for number 3 on this list. Moving on to number 2. And coming in at number 2, we got Tech Caulifla, who stacks attack and defense on her super attack effect. She gets 160% attack and defense start a turn after her EZA, gets 8% dodge chance, attack, and defense as well per Universe 6 or Peppy Gal's category ally attacking in the same turn. And then she has the very broken, powerful, disgustingly broken ability of 100% dodge when there's a Universal, Survival Saga, or Pure Saiyan category enemy, which is just god tier. She essentially can't take damage if there's one of those category enemies available, and that they don't cancel dodge, of course. She also has a bunch of other niche portions of her passive where she gives all allies 16% attack for 2 turns after dodging 6 category allies attacking when there are 6 or more Universe 6 category allies on the team. She also gets 160% attack and then does a guaranteed additional super attack when there's a Kale attack same turn. She's got some solid links and she's on some okay categories, but essentially, we all know what she does, right? She's got guaranteed dodge against Universal, Survival Saga, or Pure Saiyan category enemies, which as it's the most recent portion of the anime that's come out, these type of enemies just pop up very frequently, which leads to Caulifla having a lot of value. 100% chance to dodge against, 2 of the more common, namely Pure Saiyan enemies, needing to cancel dodge for Caulifla to not completely just neg the difficulty of the event. She's good enough for number 2 on this list, but she's not number 1. And coming in at number 1, who did you really expect? It's AGL UI Goku, the most noble and supreme form in all the universe, whose radiant glow places him at the pinnacle of all beings in existence. The truly transcendent, the one above all. We all know what AGL UI Goku does, right? He gets 50% chance to crit on both of his 12 and 18 key super attack effects. He gets 50 and 100% attack for the turn on 12 and 18 key, respectively. He also gives all allies 7% crit chance on both his super attack effects, his 18 key for 2 turns. He gets 7 key and 100% chance to dodge for his first turn, 200% attack and defense start a turn, 77% attack and defense when HP 77% or more. He also has a 77% chance of dodging and launching an additional super attack built into his kit. He then gets a stacking additional chance to dodge, plus 7 with each attack evaded. So it goes from 77 to 84 to 91 to 98 to 100% chance to dodge. Very powerful. He gets 2 key up to 10 and 30% defense up to 150 for each dodge, 77% attack and guaranteed crits when launching an active skill or when key is 24. If HP is 77% or less at the start of the turn. If he pops his own revive, he then has his powerful active skill, which is a guaranteed crit due to his passive, which can be activated turn 4 if HP is 50% or more. Very powerful links. We got a lot of categories. You just know the thing with UI Goku, right? He's a perfect unit, and he's obviously the clear number 1. The algorithm has said it so. It's clear and obvious. He finds himself at number 1. But that's my list. Let me know what you thought of my list. If you thought it was great, if you thought it was terrible, whatever. If you thought a unit was snubbed, or if you think the order should have been different. Also, let me know of any suggestions of top 10s you'd like to see. But that's going to do it for me. Thanks for stopping by.